Sapoops, 新年快乐，万事如意，龙马精神。Alright, now that I have your attention, 新年快乐. I hope you're enjoying a great time with your family this CNY. And well, it looks like CNY Street Dakwah at Bukit Bintang has been cancelled. Sapoops, in case you didn't know, there is this fun organization called the Multi-Racial Reverts of Malaysia, led by a certain Firdaus Wong Wai Hung, that apparently wants to go out there and spread the good news to people of all races in Malaysia. #Dakwah. Now, if you don't know who MRM is, honestly, you're not really missing out. But basically, they're just this NGO, apparently, that likes putting down their QR codes. Not too dissimilar from this QR code down here, except this one will stop you from being gaslighted. Thank you for your contributions. But yeah, for some reason or another, they decided to do it on Chinese New Year. Bruh, if you have to go out there and evangelize during Chinese New Year, that already shows that you have no friends who are Chinese. But okay, sure, you gotta do what you gotta do. But anyway, it turns out that for years upon years, people have basically just ignored this until today when DBKL swooped in and basically yeeted them out. That's right, it finally actually happened. Here we are, taking action against people with no actual permits. Good job, DBKL. At which point, this guy shows up and bantas on behalf of Bermuda Pass. Not that this guy is very credible, especially since he's just casually disrupting elections in Singapore and, as it turns out, also constantly nursing his obsession with religious gaslighting, status by status, to the point also, by the way, that he is sharing stuff from Singaporean fugitives and also, by the way, ISA detainees like a certain Zulfikar Sharif, to the point that I might just say that, well, with supporters like these, who needs enemies? But anyway, here the comments go about how, whoops, this is about dakwah being stopped. Negara kapir, baru je pegang wilayah dah abis, dah bayangkan pegang negara, presumably as people look at Hannah, Yo, and be all like DAP, 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 DAP. While not thinking for just a minute that maybe, just maybe during Chinese New Year, when people are enjoying themselves, that it is entirely reasonable to shut up. Well, regardless of what happened, DBKL basically came out with a response saying that, whoops. Basically what happened is that these MRM people placed a tent in a pedestrian area that was basically public territory and needs to be always free of hindrances to ensure safety and also flow of movement of lots of people. Given that that was the case, DBKL came to the location to get an explanation from the people involved, and despite that, after waiting for 30 minutes, not a single person came up to give cooperation or an explanation to DBKL, and they got rid of the materials and the tent right away. Huh. Wow. The funny thing is though, they talk about how, ooh, we did not stop any dakwah, but we had to follow procedures, which of course a whole bunch of these people don't actually believe right there, while yapping about double standard and act as if somehow going out during Chinese New Year and then trying to share your faith is somehow so important that you need to fight for it no matter where it is that you go. Yeah, some of these people want to make this into a good old-fashioned doomer situation. Oh, DAP, DAP, DAP is stopping our dakwah. But of course, anybody who's anybody knows that if you are yapping and trying to dakwah during the middle of Chinese New Year, then you are basically somebody with no social life or friends who are Chinese.
Kind of like this guy, TBH.
Literally, just go hang out with Chinese people. Why are you yapping about dakwah when you could literally just be hanging out with Chinese people? Simple je, kan? But that aside, if you're literally not gonna show up for like 30 minutes when the enforcement agency is asking you to explain why your tent is in the wrong place, then are you not being a hypocrite whenever you complain about your so-called quill haram, not following the rules, expecting that you will receive special treatment all the way because you're so truly amazing, while by the way quoting Article 11.4 of the Constitution saying that state law and in respect of federal territories of Kuala Lumpur, Labuan and Putrajaya, federal law may control or restrict the propagation of any religious doctrine or belief amongst persons professing the religion of Islam, when actually that is not saying that you get the chance to spread your religion anywhere it is that you go. It literally just says that, hey, the law may stop the propagation of these beliefs.
It's not an indication that you get to share your religion wherever you please, whenever you please, just because it is your religion.
Not that I intend to actually share any of these beliefs, because frankly, I think the very best thing to do, especially in the middle of Chinese New Year, and in a world where people aren't interested in your beliefs, is to shut up. Seriously, I don't even know why these people even care about doing this Dakwah thing. What? It's because they think to themselves that they are the bearers of good news? Bro, let me tell you that people do not see you people as the bearers of good news. I mean, like, if you really wanted to be the bearers of good news, then perhaps you should listen to this advice from Zakir Naik.
The Dakwah towards the Chinese or Indian, which has been with us for many, many years, has not been doing very well. I mean, the ones that you see typically are intermarriages, and that is driven by love.
So there is dawah being done. It is not zero. It should increase. And the best way is you have to be good examples to your Chinese brothers and sisters. You have to be a good example to your Hindu brothers and sisters. If you're a good example, they love you.
So now you might just ask yourself, like, are you really the kind of like good person out there? Well, unfortunately for you, the answer is no. Especially if you're going out there, instead of just wishing Happy Chinese New Year to people, you are going out there and yapping constantly about how, oh, it is unacceptable, pretending to be Chinese people, and literally also writing nonsense, yapping about how Chinese New Year celebrations are inappropriate, or shirk apparently, while trying to sell your books, like this Jaren Ting right here, who has been literally pretending to be a Chinese person, and just generally demonstrating absolutely no social sensibility whatsoever, while your questionable heroes, who by the way interfere in the elections of foreign countries, try to come out and pretend again that they are heroes. And to all of that, I just have to say, good job DBKL for not wavering when it comes to this kind of nonsense. If people don't follow the rules, then tutup ganja lah. It's not like you don't have the right to do so. It's not like these people are special just because they're preaching a particular faith. And all I can really say at the end of the day is thank you for keeping our city clean. I hope these people don't start protesting against PDRM, which they very well might at some later point, while by the way screaming DAP, 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 DAP. And thank you for making KL a better place this Lunar New Year. Anyway, Selamat Ramadan and Selamat Berpuasa to all of you out there who are going to be puasa-ing starting from tomorrow. I hope that you have an amazing time out there. But for now, it looks like CNY Street Dakwah is no longer a thing. Maybe it's just for one day, but hopefully it's not going to be a thing for the long term out there. Because again, if you really want a Dakwah out there, show us your character, show us that you can actually be good people, and not the nonsense that we've seen from this community all this while. But anyway, what do you think, Sapoops? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all to say about that, and bye.